is. So wherever you are in the world, listening live or on catch up, welcome to our 42nd TELx Council meeting. And I'll begin with the usual quick summary introduction. The TELx Council is a local governance group within the wider Telcoin Association and is responsible for representing the general interests of and informing the community in all matters pertaining to TELx, which is the self-custodial liquidity engine of the Telcoin platform. The TELx Council has the authority over all TELx operational rules and also has the mandate to alter TELx harvesting rules in order to regulate the flow of TEL issuance in the form of minor awards from TELx. The TELx Council can also create new liquidity pools in order to incentivize and help support the wider Telcoin ecosystem. The TELx Council accepts through the Telcoin Forum TELx improvement proposals, which are also known as TELx IPs, which can amend or introduce new elements to TELx. So these bi-weekly meetings provide a platform for the authors of TELx IPs, which, as a reminder, can be any members of the community, not just council members, to present their proposals to the council and wider community. This allows for council members to review, debate and refine these proposals to eventually reach a consensus. The proposal is then put forward to a formal approval vote through snapshot. Participation in these snapshot votes are mandatory for all TELx council members, and in order for a proposal to be approved, there needs to be a 5 out of 6 majority vote in favour. All 6 members must vote within 7 days from the date of the proposal being uploaded to Snapshot. These council meetings also provide several critical functions for our governance. They help provide transparency to our community and provide a semi-formal structure for our discussions. They provide a medium for regular TELx system updates and help facilitate the maintenance and improvements to the TELx website. And finally, and most importantly, they allow the wider community to directly engage in Q&A with the council members, which in turn helps promote overall ecosystem health and social well-being. So for today's meeting, I'll be hosting, and we'll now have a short recap from our last meeting. So over to Mike, traveling somewhere in the United States of America.
Hey, sorry. I'm on Starlink, just a little south of Yellowstone, and hopefully I'll maintain my connection here for a few minutes. So last week's recap included discussion of the Merkl distribution integration, where we had completed the proof of concept with Merkl and decided to proceed forward with a snapshot vote to for the distribution of rewards through Merkl on Uniswap V4 pools across multiple chains, using the terms that we had sort of tested and found to be most implementable or most beneficial for the community, including 50% liquidity, 25% for token A, 25% token B configuration. We also discussed the restructuring of the pool framework. As we leave balancer pools, we discussed sort of abandoning balancer altogether in favor of Uniswap on multiple chains, of course, including Ethereum, mainnet, Polygon, restructuring of the Telcoin network, and then in the very near future, and Base. I discussed standardization of those pools across those different chains, and perhaps on multiple chains. Doing equivalent pools across all chains, but we were going to table that discussion until this week's council meeting, and I believe that about sums up the meeting from last week.
Okay, thank you, Mike. You caught me halfway through one of my amaretti biscuits, so sorry for that. You might hear a crunch. Okay, so just picking up on the first point then, did we post an agenda? I don't know, but an update on the Merkl adoption proposal that went to Snapshot the snapshot is not due to complete until July the 25th, but we've all voted, all 6 of us, we've all voted in favour. So thanks everybody for getting in your votes on a timely basis. So unless anybody changes their mind, which they can do within the snapshot period, we've got a 100% consensus for adoption. So that naturally then falls down to kind of drawing up an implementation plan. I don't think Leo is on the call. He's not been around for a couple of days, so really we should discuss with the TAO who are going to affect the implementation when that actually happens. So we'll keep you posted on that, folks. Anybody got any other thoughts on the actual implementation of
No, I would just say, I think we put a lot of work and due diligence
should,
into this. I'm excited about this partnership moving forward. I
discuss
think
with the
Merkl
TAO
is
who
excited
are
about it as well.
going to affect the
They did mention
implementation
too that there
when
might
that
be a little bit of
actually
a
happens.
joint
So,
marketing
we'll
campaign
keep
that
you
we can
posted
do with
on
them too,
that, folks.
just to let them know of
Anybody
this
got any
partnership
other
moving
thoughts on
forward
the
within their
actual
ecosystem
implementation
and to
of
their customer base as well. So hopefully within that marketing campaign, that announcement, we can get
I would
a
just
few
say,
more,
I think we put a lot of
people
work
knowing
really
what
we should,
Telcoin is, what TELx is, and providing a little bit more
discuss with
liquidity
the TAO
to the
who are
pools, which will then obviously
going to
broaden
affect
the
implementation.
liquidity of the entire asset across the different chains that we're doing. So I feel like we've done a good job of reviewing everything properly to make a good decision to move forward with Merkl. So I'm just excited to get the ball rolling. And like you said, Ty, let's connect with the TAO, finalize the implementation plan, get a better understanding of timing, and then we can post that to the broader community so that they're aware of the situation and anything that they may need to do on top of that.
Yeah, great. My recollection is we don't need to create a new pool for this. We just hook in the existing pools that we want distributed through Merkl on Polygon and Base. Is that everybody else's understanding? It should be a straightforward just switch over to Merkl week 1.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything they have to do. It's really just the reward distribution of the pools that are already existing. The migration or leaving from existing pools to new pools would be part of like the second topic of today, which is what we went through last week in kind of that standardization and moving a little bit more forward in a direction with Uniswap.
Yeah, so I think where I'm trying to get to is we don't actually need to give a lot of notice for a transition to Merkl because people's liquidity can still stay in the positions that they've got. It's just on the back end, we distribute through Merkl rather than do our rewards as we normally do through the existing distribution structure.
Correct. Yeah, I just the only thing is just the collection of those rewards. We just got to make sure that everything lines up. So, but yeah, to your point, like we don't need to give a lot of notice. Everything should be staying the same. It's more just about the person who's pushing out the rewards more so than anything else.
Right. Good. Okay, that's my understanding as well. Thanks. Okay, so that's a nice lead-in to the next item, which is, unless anybody's got any other questions on Merkl, we can close that item off and move to the next one. Is anybody else? No? Okay. Then we'll talk about finalising the pool restructuring framework. That's the big topic of discussion for today. Who wants to lead on that? Andrew, Mike, Boo, anybody?
I can lead off. Yeah, I think in conversation, Mike, you had mentioned too, just strategy on, do we want to implement across multiple chains? Do we want to, continue with ETH and EUSD? I think most of the discussion today is just kind of how do we want to do this moving forward? Do we want everything to be kind of standardized, or do we want to incentivize different chains more based on where we need more liquidity? So maybe I'll open it up to the floor and get everybody's opinion on that.
Hey guys, do you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah, you're good, Eric. Yeah. Hi. Good morning.
Good. Good morning. Well, good evening here. I was talking already, but muted myself still. Yeah, I think what Andrew's saying is right. We have to think pretty hard about what chains do we want to stay on, and also with the Telcoin mainnet coming somewhere this year. I think it's important we decide, because our incentives are limited, of course, and I think we want to incentivize those pools and those chains to be aligned with our core goal, and it is deep liquidity and health of the ecosystem. So it's pretty important where we're going with this. Users want to travel a bridge between chains, of course. So it's gonna be an interesting period coming. And I think everything's gonna follow up pretty quick after the summer. So yeah, it's good to really think about this, to think this through, and also look at other protocols. I know Leo is talking to Merkl still, and is also talking with different protocols in the background. That will be part of an ecosystem in the future. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff coming, and yeah, it's up to us to decide where we're going with this, and of course get community input. So that's my take on it. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Eric. We have a proposal that Andrew introduced last meeting. That's still the basis for how we move forward on this, I take it.
Yeah, but it was also correlated to Merkl, I think, Andrew, right? USD and V3.
Yeah, I was adjusting the proposal that I kind of went through last week, and I think I shared it to our Slack channel just for quick initial review before we kind of post it to the forum and try to start getting community and other council members' feedback as well too. Now that we kind of can see too that TEL3 is likely going to move forward, we've also got that on snapshot as well too. Currently 8 of 8 voting in favor of that proposal, which ends on the same day, on the 25th of July, a couple days. So like that's going to be happening. So we're going to have to be transitioning pools from TEL2 to TEL3, right? But we just got to figure out the plan moving forward, which maybe it's not a bad idea to post it and get it to the forum and start getting people's feedback, as opposed to discussing a little bit more internally and trying to refine it more. I could always refine the proposal afterwards, after internal communications, external communications, feedback from the community, and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want, I could post it to the forum officially when I get home, and then we can at least continue the conversation with everybody.
Yeah, it can stay on the forum for as long as we deem necessary. So if there's a lot of feedback and a lot of refinement, then that's the process working. So that's all good. Boo, you have your hand up.
Yeah, apologies if I missed this. This may be on the forum, but as I said, I've been out. The agenda notes mention path 3 of scrapping base. So Can we just highlight to the community the reasoning behind that potential option, please?
Yeah, I don't know apart from yeah. Mike, do you have any insight on that? Why we would want a scrap base?
Well, I just think it's worth consideration, just given if we're going to follow data and the numbers and the volume that's being, and if we want, where we want to place incentives. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be liquidity
Mike, you're
pools on
breaking up.
base, but determining whether. Sorry, guys. I have a really unstable connection. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back now.
Shoot.
You're back now.
Okay. I'll try to
Shoot.
keep it brief. I have a fairly unstable connection at the moment, but
Yeah.
I think trying to figure out whether base is worth incentives. Whether the volume meets the criteria that we would want to use going forward to provide incentives. Just a data-driven approach, really. Where's the money, and where do we want to drive incentives?
Yeah, I think I'm happy with the reasoning. I'd just like to know if we've actually got that data presented anywhere, or whether that could be knocked up. I don't know if Derek's got anything like that available, or if we can produce something, just so that we've got some reasoning.
I got you.
if we go down that.
I got you on this one, Boo.
Okay.
It was in the analysis that we made after Merkl, and also I drew some analysis after Merkl on our own reward program, and it is indeed what Mike is also saying, that volume is lower, while incentives are the same as the Polygon pools. And there are certain, well, basically we incentivize those places where we want liquidity, and when the liquidity is not coming in, I think it's always good to question yourself, okay, are we still on target for what we want with our incentives? But second, low volume pools with high incentives, they're easily gameable, not always, but a lot of times. So I think we have to keep an eye on that also. I'm not saying the pool is being gamed, but there's a bigger risk of incentivizing the wrong kind of wallets. But in the end, it's where we want to incentivize where the liquidity and the volume is, and when it's not there, you should review your stats.
I mean, if we look back, I think the reasoning for creating the base pool was to expand the eco base and try and bring in Coinbase users. Was that not the main driver for launching the pool on base initially?
I wasn't here by then, I think, but I do believe that was the reason.
Yeah, this sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think, and whether that's been successful or not, I don't know.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting also looking at the future. If you got Telcoin network up and running, and ecosystems or dApps following on the network, it's gonna be valuable for us to look where from which chain are people coming in. What is the off ramp? What is the on ramp? And what other chains are connected? And that's the place where you want to create liquidity outside of our network, in my opinion. So I think when we added base, this was kind of a suggestion already.
Yeah. But so I think Andrew, I think you're correct in what you're saying. Let's try and get it up on the forum. Let's engage in a more kind of formal way where we've got a record of people's opinions, what the feeling is, the pros and cons. We can have a healthy debate on the topic on the forum. That's what the forum's for. And then hopefully there'll be some good interaction, and we'll be able to gauge that and review back in the next couple of weeks on that. I mean, I don't think we want to make any hasty decisions, but we want to have enough time for a sort of healthy debate and make sure everybody's voice is heard.
Yeah, nope. Sounds like a plan. I'm aligned. I'll have it up to the forum today, and I think timing wise too. Hopefully, this gives us enough time to kind of get our ducks in a row as well too. Do the proper due diligence, just like we did with Merkl, before TEL3 is officially created. Because I think we've got to have everything kind of organized, ready to go before that kind of light is switched on, so that we make sure that we have pools at the ready to go, to make sure that we have liquidity available. And I know there's been some internal, communication too, whether or not there's, a pool that, maybe we can help fund in a way for like a TEL2, TEL3, to then try to keep at least the balance of the token price somewhat level. Because I think through, an upgrade from TEL2 to TEL3, there's probably at times going to be arbitrage opportunities. But if we have a pool, on TEL2, TEL3, like hopefully that eliminates some of those higher swings with arbitrage opportunities. So I can definitely get it posted to the forum today, aligned with that, and then we can continue the conversation internally, externally, and come to a place of consensus. Just like you said, Ty, this is the whole reason why we put these things on the forum, is to deliberate, debate, and come to some common ground before it actually goes to snapshot.
Yeah, I'm just looking at our next couple of weeks ahead. Our next meeting, the TELx Council, meets on the 6th, and by then, hopefully, the full process of the governance review of the upgrade proposal, then there's going to be a TGIP, I believe, happening. That will all dovetail in around that time. So the first week of August should be when everything comes together, which will be our next meeting. So maybe at our next weekly meeting internally, we can get Parker and Leo and maybe Grant in on that, and we can finalize what our plans really are, so that we can present it next meeting to the community. Does that make sense to everybody?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
All right, lovely. That's really. Anybody got anything else to add on anything we've discussed so far? Because really the next, well, we've got an incentive shift phase versus all at once. Do we want to talk about that? Or was that just the tail end of the full restructuring framework?
I think that's connected to like the post I'll put on the forum. It just, how do we manage the incentives as we transition, upgrade from TEL2 to TEL3, right? Do we want to adjust, 50-50 for 2 weeks, or 75-25 to try to incentivize, people to push to get that migration done, upgrade done on the TEL3 side, and have it maybe 75-25 for a month, 75% being on the TEL3 new pools. And then after, 4 weeks, we move to 100% on the new pools. I don't know. I'm just trying to think, what makes the most sense to also give the current liquidity providers enough time to move over. Because again, the challenge is that it's going to have different tax implications for everybody, depending on the price and when they went in, when they come out, all that kind of stuff, right? So if we could provide a little bit more of a window for them to do that, then at least we're trying to be as open with the community as possible.
Right. So you'll have a section in your proposal for that people can refer to and hone in on that particular discussion then. Yeah.
Yep, correct. Yeah, but like as we're talking about it now, does anybody have any thoughts and opinions?
Silence speaks 1,000 words.
That's good. We'll talk about it on the
What-
forum then. No problem.
All right. Okay. So if anybody's got anything else they want to mention from either the council members or the wider community that's listening in, I'm just checking the stream chat. I don't think, Derek, are you picking up anything? I can't see anything here on the feed I've got.
No, there's been no questions. Just a few that were not in relation to
Yeah.
liquidity or TELx pools.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so moving into the Q&A questions then, it's kind of quiet this meeting then, yeah.
Holiday
The lull-
season.
The lull before the storm. Okay,
Let's
well,
enjoy it
if
while it
nobody's
lasts.
got anything else, we might as well call it a wrap. And I can watch the sunrise here in New Zealand.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thanks, gentlemen.
All right. So next
everyone.
meeting, 2 weeks time. I should really know who's presenting to give a heads up for. Let me just pull up our little spreadsheet that we've got. So next week, which is the 8th. When is it? The 5th of August. That might be my time. It might be the 4th for everybody else. Mike's on hosting duties and Boo's on the recap and agenda. So till then, I'll sign off here and wish everybody a good couple of weeks.
Perfect.
thanks,
Wishing
guys.
you the same.
Okay.
Good evening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye for now, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.